Well, guys, welcome back to another video in AXC Garage. I'm Mike, and I got Brian right next to me. I'm at his beautiful home garage, which we're gonna make another video showcasing everything he has here. Now, this is one of the videos a lot of you guys been asking. What's the cost to build this beautiful RSX Type-S?
Yeah, and you know, one of the things I try to do throughout the whole build is not look at the numbers. Because if I said look at the numbers, then I'm going to say, no, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. So I found out the number recently, and it's around what I thought it would be. And just to preface this whole video, guys, I know I could have bought a brand new car with the amount of labor and time and parts and all that, but I didn't want that. I wanted a 2006 Vivid Blue Acura Type-S, and that's what we got. So we know, we understand. Now we're going to go through the whole breakdown of what it took to get to that point.
Well, let's start off. It's a 2006 R6 Type-S with 120-ish thousand miles.
Yeah, I had 128, and literally since I've been done, I've only put about 1,000 miles on a whole car.
How did you find this car?
So I've been looking on, like anyone else would be looking on Facebook Marketplace, on Auto Trader. For a good 6 months, I really went hard into it. And there was a couple Vivid Blues that were available at the time, but they were in different areas, and I almost bought one. And I asked the seller, can we get some more pictures? I looked in a door jamb, I noticed all the stickers are gone, so it's a dead giveaway that quarter panel was replaced. I really wanted an original one. So thankfully, I gave up on the blue, and my second choice was a white. I found this in Miami. It had been the second owner at that time. It showed me a lot of, actually the owner came to our dealership and let us put it on the lift, take a look at it. I had John and a couple other TJ and other mechanics look at it, text, and it looked pretty solid for what it was.
And I remember you and I went for a quick test drive too, and everything checked out.
It checked out for the most part. You know, it had some parts on it that were not of high quality, but we knew that the areas of concern were coming from those parts.
You know, just like most project, you know, we started off, I think you mentioned once before in a previous video, we started off this, then became this.
Right, yeah. That's what ends up happening, because it was going to be always, I believe it was premium white pearl.
Yeah.
I was okay with that. Yeah. I wanted a RSX Type-S. I gave up on the blue, and our intention first was just to change it over to the black interior. And as we go on with this list, we'll tell the story even more of what happened and how we ended up with a Vivid Blue from, I guess, a premium white pearl vehicle.
Believe it or not, guys, this list did take us a little while to get done, but very happy that we actually get it done, and now we actually have an idea how much this cost us. So 2006 R6 Type-S purchase price was
$8,500. He was originally asking $9,000. We got him down, obviously, to $8,500. I think it was fair at that point for a car that had a clean Carfax and VIN numbers on every single one of the parts. That was very important to me.
I think the car got a beautiful foundation, and I'm very happy that we actually got this car and turned out to be what it is now. Like, let's move on to second episode, right? We went ahead and like we mentioned before, the initial goal was just to refresh the car. So we got some team basis suspension, some OEM upper plates because it doesn't come with it. And then we fixed the engine idling problem, which is the idle air control valve. And that was that. And how much was that, Brian?
That was $1,630.08. And that was basically just to get me on the road.
Yeah.
So you see later on, we changed out those coilovers. A lot of people were wondering why. Well, this was, the original intent was get me on the road, get me driving, get me a little bit safer. And that was the plan from that point.
I mean, the idle air control valve, which is the OEM unit, is almost $500.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that a lot of folks don't realize that this was a 3-year process almost. So we bought all these parts initially, and 3 years later they were discontinued. That's why we still had them, because we really dove into it when we first started, when I sat down with you.
We go on to the list. We're going to be talking about some of them where we thought that we didn't have the parts. We actually had the parts, and we actually purchased some of the parts twice, maybe 3 times.
Yeah, and we looked at it like, we had this part. I'm like, yes, but 3 years.
You found this mystery box.
Yeah.
Episode 3, we did the interior change. TJ and I did remove the entire interior, swapped out with black interior, and you did some of the work yourself too.
Yeah, this interior came out twice, I believe. But so I located full interior for, I believe we had $800. And I just wanted my full black interior. I got that out of a junkyard car that was all bundled up. and we got everything taken out and we put it back in, and it was what I wanted for the most part. It was a black interior. Some of the panels were in greatest condition, which that already started to bother me. You'll see later on how this became something bigger than what it was. But we also had later on the interior color trim paint, where we actually went and sprayed the door panels. And we did that later on as well. And the dashboard dye, I had someone come in and spray that dashboard. I don't have that on video, but that really came out good. That was a grand total of $968.
Wow, the dashboard dye was only $150. That's
Yeah,
pretty reasonable.
she actually told me she was gonna do it for like free, and I just gave her $150 because I can't accept free. But it came out good.
Well, these are the vendors that we do business with, and they were just going to do it as a favor. But
yeah,
hey, listen,
I couldn't.
Nothing in the world is free. She put in the time and an effort.
Yeah,
she should be compensated for it.
Yeah, and I'm happy with the way it came out. Great, and definitely for $150, I'd pay that all day.
And some of you guys might be questioning, well, we didn't put back the whole entire interior because we got other things in mind.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the next episode, which we are getting ready to paint the engine, baby. But before we do that, we have to remove the entire engine and transmission. Oof. And TJ and I did exactly that.
Yeah. So TJ and Mike, they put the work in. They got every single thing taken off. You know, with a particular job like this, when you're doing color change, there cannot be any remnant of the old color. So every bolt, every nut, everything they completely removed, so we get the full coverage of the paint underneath all of those parts once they're installed back into the vehicle.
And one of the things that we did before we removed everything, we want to make sure that this engine is healthy, and we did a full compression test, and everything came back perfect. Now, Brian, I do have a question for you. Why is TJ keep mentioning about a flood?
Well, so TJ likes to bother people. He's a little bit of a bully, but it's fine. So the whole thing with TJ is at the time I had this car and my Accord that's in the background. I had them parked at the dealership, and we had these couple freak storms that came in. So both cars were not flooded, but the water reached about the floorboard area. So some water did get into the car. So now any part that was rusted, even from just being rusted from the 20 years of being on the road, he attributed it to the flood. And that I have flood damaged cars. So it's a big joke. I just end up stop entertaining them. That's what you do with a bully. You just let it go, and then they eventually hopefully stop.
Well, anyway, so this is one of the only episodes that didn't cost us any money at all.
No, just a lot of, it was free. We're catching up here.
And a few free jokes.
Free jokes, yeah.
Let's move on to the next episode where we clean up the engine with Super Clean and the engine bay and everything else, getting ready to prep for full paint of the engine bay.
Yeah.
And we got the engine all cleaned up and completely disassembled with TJ and get ready for all the new parts that we put in this car.
Yeah, so from there, you know, the Super Clean does really well to get into all the grime and all those little areas, and it really foams up. And they've been great. They sending the product over, and we're really using it to really agitate that dirt, because if you paint over that dirt, guess what? Your paint's gonna fall right off. So once we got everything nice and cleaned up, then we're eventually ready to start to get into the prep. Now, I see the OEM parts here for all that was $2,528.55. So we're starting to collect on those parts there as we start to build this car up.
Yeah, well, some of you guys mentioned, why is it $2,800? Well, all the parts that we use are all OEM parts, and we literally did everything to the engine. Aside from lifting the head, because the head's completely fine, and the engine block with the head gasket, we didn't remove that portion, but everything else, we replaced every O-ring, every gasket, every hose, including the VTC actuator, which it didn't need to be changed, but you know, over time, sometimes they do have problems down the road. We didn't want to have any issues. We changed that, the chain, the guy, and a bunch of bolts, and everything in between. We want to make sure this car is not going to have any issues driving down the road for the next 10 years.
And when are we ever going to get the chance to do this again? So why not?
While we're there, we also got ACT, a partial sponsorship.
Okay, yeah.
On an ACT clutch. It's a street stage 1 clutch. That's what I used to use back in the day, 20 years ago.
Really?
Been
around that long.
I really truly love that product.
Yeah,
I really do.
Great.
So this episode, between the parts, cost us $3,068.55.
Oh, we're getting up there.
Oh, that is nothing, guys. Got to stay tuned because it gets deeper.
Oh man.
So now let's move on to episode 6, where TJ and I emptied out the engine bay, and Brian did some paint work on it.
So before we get into the engine bay and the color, I was between two colors for this car. I mean, originally wanted Vivid Blue, but then we had the other color. You remember the other color we had?
Oh, the Blaze Orange, right?
Yeah. So I had two spray out cards and I ran around to everyone and started off really strong with Blaze Orange. Everyone's like, yeah, that color. And then Vivid Blue, people started saying Vivid Blue, Vivid Blue, Vivid Blue. And now it's already in the back of my head.
Yeah.
I think you voted Vivid Blue too because you thought that, and once you said it, I couldn't unthink it. Blaze Orange almost looks brown in some certain lights.
I think it looks really nice under sun, but when it's no direct sunlight, it just
dull.
Didn't, it just didn't have that shine.
Yeah. So we chose Vivid Blue, and from that point, Mike, when we chose Vivid Blue to do it on the engine bay, we knew that the undertaking of this vehicle was going to be substantial because every single piece of white needed to be completely deleted. So Juan and I started with the engine bay, started to prep it out. Now with these engine bays, what can happen is from the factory, for the most part, some is base coat, some is clear coat. So some of it just wipes right off. So we were able to wipe off majority of that paint on the firewall, scuff up the rest of it, get it all nice and clean again, and then bring it into the paint booth. And from there, we were able to spray the full engine bay in our sealer, our base coat, and a clear coat. And from that point, I saw that this vehicle was now undergoing a full transformation. Now, after that, you guys were ready to install some parts back into the engine bay.
Well, I want to touch on that real quick because you are a huge teacher in DIY and professional painters, right? Why the factory? They don't paint the engine bay with clear coat.
Well, for the most part, it's a cost savings tactic. For the most part, no one really looks underneath the engine bay. It's just basically overspray for the most part. When these cars are manufactured from the factory, there's a certain amount of paint. You think about you're producing, I guess, hundreds and millions of cars. There has to be a paint savings. They're not going to put paint and clear coat in areas where it doesn't matter. So it's basically from that point just a mist. I mean, honestly, there's more color on the older cars than there are on the newer cars even from there. Now, as you get up higher in quality, then you'll find it might be a little bit more clear coat in some areas. But
it's cost saving.
Cost saving, yeah, it's a cost savings tactic for the most part. Yeah.
So this episode cost us $1,900, almost $2,000.
Yeah.
$1,953.19, which included a lot of the factory bolts, because TJ and I did put the engine bay back together. We did put a new brake master cylinder, AC receiver dryer, new clutch master cylinder, and also paint material for the engine bay. Yeah. We want to make sure again this car going back perfect. Not gonna have any issues down the road. So hey, why don't we just spend the extra money and get those brake cylinder and then the clutch master cylinder out of the way. Those are consumable items because they do get worn out. We don't want to have any issues with this beautiful car.
Yeah, 100%.
So let's move on to the next episode, which is episode number 7, right? We pretty much, T and I reassembled the engine back in the car. And Brian pressure cleaned the undercarriage and undercoating and painting the cabin area in blue.
Yep.
And prep for the full exterior paint. Brian, talk to me.
So we knew that this was going to be a little bit crazy, but we decided, I don't want to have any trace of anything in this vehicle being white. So similar to the factory, we didn't do the full clear coat. We taped off all the sound deadening, and anywhere there was white, we painted it blue. And it was a little bit crazy with all the taping and everything, but when it was done, man, did it come out good. Now, if you want to tease me, there's one part that's still technically white on the car. It's behind the dash. Now, I wanted to get TJ to remove the dash again, but I don't think that was going to happen. The whole thing about it, though, is behind the dash there's a whole insulator, so you don't really, if you remove the dash, you don't see the white. Yeah. But it is there behind it, and it's something that's always been in the back of my head. But everything else in that car completely, if you were to take any interior parts out, it is completely blue, vivid blue, just like the outside.
When Brian and Jason stopped prepping, inside the cabin area, we thought you were nuts.
I know. I just can't. I just don't like builds that are a color change and they're not a color change. It's partial color change. This vehicle for me. I want people to look at it and 100% believe it came from the factory like this. 100%.
He taped everything out. The taping itself probably
3 hours,
4 hours, if not that, right?
Yeah, and we took that interior back out that we had just put in again. So I mean, the interior came in and out, in and out. That's why you see the series. A lot of these things, we didn't make our decision in the very beginning and say this is what we're going to do. We kind of bounced around. So that's why you're seeing the back and forth a little bit. But let me tell you, whenever I go to service this car and have to take the carpet up and I see that blue underneath it, it makes all the difference.
I mean, listen, we not doing any shortcuts at all.
No.
And like we mentioned, it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Even the ceiling, everywhere, Mike, there's blue. So,
well, this episode is $1,950.44, which including a bunch of OEM stuff and Mugen engine mount kit, which is a factory, engine mount. With the exception, it comes in a Mugen box.
Oh yeah.
Yet everything's OEM, and it costs probably half of the price. Again, we didn't cheap out on anything at all. We get a new AC compressor. We got new radiator, condensers, every drive belts, auto hoses. We got the valve cover complete refinish.
Oh, love
with
it.
this beautiful red.
Yeah.
We got a new battery again.
Probably one of 3 batteries because the car sat, here between projects. It's not every day we're working on it. So we had some batteries on the car, but now that the car's in here, we have a battery tender on it. So I learned my lesson.
And plus, you end up driving. You end up driving quite a bit. So it worked out really well.
Yeah.
Well, next video is going to be a big one for you and you only.
Oh yeah, this is the full exterior paint. So for the most part, the TJ and Mike were working on the vehicle, getting everything disassembled. Now we're coming to the paint shop. And so basically the whole entire car was going to go through the bodywork process. Now the bodywork on the car wasn't bad, but I wanted to look just like this. So everything came off. Doors were completely disassembled. Seals on the doors were completely disassembled. Obviously everything has to be painted in a door jamb. So the bodywork wasn't bad, but when you're particular like me, then you have to go over things 2 or 3 times. So we got everything completely primered in a gray first, and then we got everything completely primered in a blue, and then it was ready for the paint booth. And now when I painted this car, I painted it over the course of 2 days. So I painted the car first, originally with the base coat, and then I came back the next day, I sanded everything down, checked everything, and then I applied one more coat of base, and I put the clear coat back on it. And that's the result. You see a beautiful, nice, clean paint job, and I wanted to resemble the factory. I didn't want it to be cut flat. I wanted to have that same factory, they would call it a factory texture to it. So if you're looking at this car, you say, God, this is a nicely preserved factory color. Now on this particular vehicle, there's about 15 variances of this color. So you might have seen this color before on the road, and it might look different. It's because at the factory, depending on what paint brand they're using at the particular time or the actual plant it was produced in, that could cause some variations in the color. So when this car goes to be repaired at a paint shop, when they load up this color in the computer, it's going to show you about 15 different variances from throughout the years when this color was produced. Now, I chose the variant and I think you like it, is the brightest and the cleanest variant because they have greener, they have darker, they have redder, they have about 15 different styles. This variant, I'm in love with.
Now, this always been my curiosity, clear coat. Mm-hmm. I know we spend extra money on a more expensive clear coat, and boy, it does shine.
Yeah. So back in the day, people were like, oh, how many coats of clear did you put on? That was always a big thing. Like if you had 3, 4, 5, 6, they thought your car was better. Maybe because the solids in the clear was less. So maybe back then 3 coats of clear would equal 1 coat of this because it's called a high solids clear. And basically a high solids clear has more solid content in it. So after it dries, those solids stay in the car and they don't evaporate into the air. So when a clear coat is produced, the cheaper clears will have more solvents in them that make it look good when you spray it. It's going to come out of the gun beautiful, but once it dries, it all comes out of the paint. For this particular paint, the actual solid content stays on the car, like the UV resistance, the shine, all of that. So that yields a beautiful product like what you see back here. And that's the big difference in any clear coat.
And this paint material costs us just under $3,000, $2,950.
Don't cheap out on a job that, a lot of people spend a lot of time on their car and they get cheap materials, and then you're only as good as your clear coat or your paint.
It's so true.
It's very important.
So true. Let's move on to the next video. I mean, this one, ouch.
Yeah, this is a big one.
I'm just. Can you just tell us the total for this video, Brian? Let's just start off with
$9,330.93.
and that is a lot.
Yeah. Now, but I'm looking at a lot of what was ordered, and a lot of this was ordered probably previously a year previous to this part of the process. So I didn't spend $10,000 in one episode for the most part, but everything you see in this episode is $10,000. But this is a big chunk of change, right?
Well,
this is more than the car.
to be exact. Exactly. Let's talk about some of the stuff that we've done. So you and JC reassembled the car as far as the doors, the fenders, all the power window regulators, and all the weather stripping, right?
Yep.
All of those cost a ton of money.
Yeah.
People think about weather stripping, it's just, well, this little one on the door. No, you got the run channel, you got the body, you got the door. I mean, just that alone is quite a bit. And then one of the things that strike me, and you talk about in detail, where a part of the portion of the door from factory is not the body color. You went ahead and taped it back up.
So it's the top of, so what it comes with is a vinyl tape, and I believe the vinyl tape was super expensive, and it's vinyl tape. So if you don't put it on right for the first part, you're done. So I tape it all back up, and we have a trim black paint that represents the vinyl identically. So we scuffed that up and got that all taped up, and I remember doing that in this episode. And it's just a fine detail, and when we put all the moldings back together, they click together, and everything looked completely uniform and just like the factory.
Well, this is the episode that we actually put back the entire interior, including door panels, which got completely redone.
Yeah.
Beautifully.
Yeah.
Redone, moonroof visors. And then we did some upgrades, right? We did an upgraded audio system with backup camera. And as you can see this clip here, TJ's beautiful face there.
Oh, yeah. That's a beautiful face right there. Yeah.
Including the windshield and all the glasses, right?
Yeah.
And then we got these beautiful seat, factory seat redone with between leather and Alcantara or suede in the middle with rest stitching. Brian, you have done a fantastic job. That was executed perfectly.
You know, once we took the car from white to blue, we've lost all its originality of trying to preserve this car to be worth something at some point. And I'm not going to preserve a car for someone else.
Yeah.
I wanted to drive my car and like it. So we decided at that point, we're going to take out all the interior, and we're going to have Matt at E3 Customs go ahead and do the whole entire thing over. It's got Lambo leather on the sides, Alcantara in the middle with the red stitching all around, and it looks great.
I gotta say, it really wowed me. And I'm not just saying because we sit in front of the camera. You know, most of the folks with RS6, they would get the JDM Recaro seat or some sort of aftermarket racing seat. You know?
Yeah.
You did the factory seat, and you did like OEM plus.
Yeah.
And it came out beautiful.
Oh yeah, it came out so good, and you can see the price here. And the last bullet here on this page, at the market windshield, TJ really beat me up about it because at this point I wasn't ready to spend any more money. This was at the end of the actual build. A new OEM was like around 800, and the aftermarket was 300. I did go for the aftermarket windshield, and honestly, it's perfect. It's fine. Retrospect now, I probably would have done the $800 because it would have been OEM, but still one of those things that TJ always going to find a way to bust me up about.
But guys, you got to think about it. When you start going into the project, now you just bleeding out. Money just coming out of your favorite bank account.
I had to cut it. I had to cut it somewhere, and that made me feel better at that point. That was it. I wasn't going any more than what, and then the aftermarket price of that.
Looking at this list here, the aftermarket or the redone of the leather seat, door panels and such was $4,000.
Yeah.
Do you think you overspend on that, or you think it's well worth it?
I think for the craftsmanship of Matt and the work that he does, and just his availability to come and work on my car, I mean, there was even a point where I had given him my headliner, and it wasn't good enough because it had been rewrapped.
Oh, that's right. That was a part of it too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't
the headliner. He did the 8 pillars as well. And he went to the junkyard and he pulled one out of a RSX and he used that for here because he said the Alcantara cannot go on something that's already been redone, it's already been messed with. So just that alone, and him going to do that and doing the seats and just doing it exactly the way I want. I mean, it has all the functionalities of the OEM, the airbags, it has the clips where they need to go. So it just looks like an OEM plus, just like you said.
It was worth it. It came out beautiful.
Let's
move on to the next video. Another big one. This one went on 5-digit. Brian, how much is this total on this video?
Oh, $10,429.42.
We're gonna talk about this one here because on this video we start off with new bumpers, right? Like the bumper on the car was okay, but you want it to be perfect. So you got new bumpers, and now beside the new bumpers, you got a body kit. Talk about the body kit. This is pretty nutty.
Yeah. So to start off with the bumpers, I like everything nice and crispy and clean. I knew I was going to put the body kit on there, so I know when you put them together, everything's brand new. Everything just fits good.
Yeah.
You know, along with the bumpers as well, if we go back previous to the other episode, I also put another OEM hood on it. Just because trying to get a hood sometimes for the most part nice and flat, it's very tough. So I wanted to go just straight up OEM, and I ended up changing a lot of these parts. Since we were going to just disregard the VIN, I changed a lot of these parts so it would have a nice clean fit. Now I was searching for the OEM kit, and that was very hard to find. I originally had found one on eBay. It was in red. It was the rear lip, I think, only, and it didn't work out with shipping from California to Florida. They were going to charge them like $1,000. Thank God that didn't work out because something else came up. And at that time, desperate measures, you know, when you're desperate for something, you're going to pay a little bit more money. Now, see how much I paid, because I don't even want to remind myself. Yeah, and I showed you the eBay picture here of my auction. $5,576 I paid for the full OEM lip kit. And a lot of your...
Including the wing?
The wing as well, yeah. How much do you think that lip kit was originally?
They were like $1,000
for the
maybe
whole,
like $1,100.
Yeah, for the
MSRP when they were new. Well, added with the spoilers, I would say maybe right around $1,500.
Okay. So funny story is the guy had it listed more on lip kit, and I found his user ID name, and his user ID name. I'm like, let me see if I can talk to him, because on eBay you just have the messaging.
Yeah.
So I found him on Instagram, and he loves his RSX,
yeah,
but he wanted to turn it into a track car. So, and he's done all the modifications to do that. So he took off the lip kit, and he already knew about me.
Yeah.
So thank God, because I said, listen, if you change the price to whatever it was at that point for buy it now, I'll buy it right away. And I was man of my word. He changed it and made it a little bit lower, and I bought it right away. He shipped it over. Everything came in here perfect.
And Brian, to be fair, that price, it is a lot of money. $500, almost $600. But a lot of those cars were shipping because it came in these big, bulky packages.
Yeah.
So that did cost a lot of money.
And you know what? A lot of these lips that, think about it, they've been since 2006. They've been on the road for over 20 years. They're coming out clapped out. They're coming up messed up, damaged. This one was perfect. I would pay it again for a perfect kit, just like that. I remember I had the side skirts as well.
Yeah.
You know, and also had the hardware, which was a big deal. So when it came in, yeah, it was a tough pill to swallow, but I had it. Yeah. And that's all that mattered.
Well, you know, coming down to this era, you know, to find a factory OEM body kit is almost impossible. It's lucky to even find one.
If you find one, just buy one, even if you don't have plans for it.
So I'm looking at this here, Brian. We got a new set of factory Type-S floor mats for $690.
Yes, that's another one of those things that I found on eBay. I just love to go on eBay or Facebook Marketplace. These were the most mint floor mats I could find, and I had to get them. And the cool thing is I had the all-weather as well, so those are right on top of it.
It's going to preserve the factory mats.
At the car show is when I take it off.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, I can't blame you too much for it, because when we had our red EM1, we spent $1,100 for a set of those floor mats. So,
oh boy.
Hey, that was the last piece
silly,
to make
right?
the interior complete, but hey, you got to pay to play. So some people might think it's crazy, but
it is. But whatever.
When you're spending this kind of money on it, why you can't shortcut?
You're trying to make the car as authentic as possible. Yeah.
I mean, along with that, we did some heart rate control arms, some ball joints, sway bar links. We got a new set of coilovers, BC coilovers. How do you like these compared to the team?
So a lot of the guys in the shop were kind of giving me a little bit of grief about the team basis, and you know, they're a little bit more crappy and cheap. So with doing all the work on the vehicle, I wanted something that really would ride smooth, and I really did like the bases, to be honest. I think they were fine until I put the BC Racing in, and it's like factory, Mike.
Yeah.
It's beautiful because we did it on my Accord as well. So I already kind of knew how they were going to be. So once I changed them over, wow, what a difference. It really completed the whole car.
I mean, we finished off with the undercoating material, which is only like just under $25, which is the 3M undercoating spray, right?
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that there was no any more white remnants underneath the vehicle, and as well as the fender liner areas, we took care of all that as well.
$10,429.42.
I think that's the last big one. I hope.
Well, we got more here. Next video, we gotta make this car even more beautiful. We got a new set of wheels, new Rega Master 18.5 gloss gunmetal with a set of awesome Continental extreme contact tires.
Yeah, the same tires that were on your car. I had asked you, I remember asking you, I really like these tires, and you said, get them. I had them on the EM1. And I love the way they look. I like the sidewall on them, and I love the Rega Masters. It's a perfect color combination for this car. It really is.
We paired that up with a set of Project Kicks lug nuts, and they were expensive. Boy, they were expensive.
Oh.
Almost $300 for that set. We did contact DC Sport and also Hybrid Racing. They did send over us a short ram intake.
Yep.
A adjustable shifter.
Yep.
How do you like that shifter?
I love it. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love driving a car. Very simple, very easy. Goes into gear perfectly. Shifts nice. Very simple. And I'm not a big car guy as far as, you know, driving tough and all that. So it's very comfortable for me.
Yeah, what I like about that shifter is fully adjustable. You can adjust to the way you want it. You don't want to be too racy, too notchy. So that worked out really well for you. And then the factory, you know, shifter have just way too many play. The bushing was all blown out. So I'm so happy that we got a Hybrid Racing send us a shifter and also shift cable bushing. Now we did want to make the car a little louder, so NVIDIA exhaust system, right?
Yeah, we got that all, and I love the way it looks.
Yeah.
After some modifications, we got that thing looking right and feeling right, and I just love the way it pokes out the back. It's not too loud either. It's loud enough that I feel like I have a sports car.
Yeah, I like the muffler design. It got a very OEM factory looks with the pan look. I love it. Not loud at all, which is fantastic. And then we finish off with a custom steering wheel that matched your interior.
Yeah,
Tell me about the steering
I found this guy called Steering Wheel Art on Instagram. I mean, the social media is great nowadays. You can find everyone and what they do in their own, you know, trades. And he does, basically, he works for a lot of clients, and I sent him, I bought another steering wheel on eBay, had it directly sent to him, and he did a custom factory style steering wheel with the red stitching that matched my interior beautifully. So it's got the leather. It's a brand new steering wheel. The work is second to none.
I agree.
I don't even put my hands on the top of it. It's so nice. I want one of those plastic things that you had. It's so nice.
One of the things I don't like some of the aftermarket steering wheel is that they make it like super thick.
Right.
This is almost like the factory size, and the leather and the stitching. It flowed with the interior. It's just beautiful executed. It's only $760 for the service.
For the custom steering wheel is great. I mean, and I wanted to retain the airbag as well. So that's one of the reasons why we stuck with that.
You talk about OEM Plus. There you go, guys.
Ooh,
Let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to the next one here. Another bigger one here. Brian, how much is this one here?
$7,039.32.
Well, a big portion of that has to come with PPF because you want to protect it, and also ceramic coating. Brian, tell me more.
Yeah, so the PPF and the ceramic coating, I always like the natural look of the paint when it comes off the gun and it's been polished. But I knew if I put this on the road and I got a little chip or something, I was going to be very upset. So I went out and we found the best PPF guys, and these guys are second to none, top notch. They were able to PPF the whole front end and the mirrors, the headlights, everything completely hand cut and a seamless finish. Like you don't even see where it starts.
This is not pre-cut.
No,
this is
not
custom.
this custom.
No edge.
Custom hand cut and a beautiful job as well. And we also followed the whole car up with a complete ceramic coating. Now there's also a special ceramic coating that they use for the PPF, which I didn't even know there was. So I like that these guys knew that, because it's different from the actual coating that goes on the actual paint that doesn't have any PPF. And then we're waiting on some calipers for a while, right, to complete this job. And I know
that's right. Once the car came back from ceramic coating PPF, I mean, this is the final episode. We want to jazz it up, right? We've been waiting for this set of calipers for a very, very long time. Spoon Sports 4-piston calipers finally came in. We paired that up with some new brake rotors, along with some OEM brake pads. We got the fluid completely flushed out. And you also did some minor tweaking as far as the Type-S emblem, the power steering reservoir tank, and also the a-spec interior. Tell me more about that one.
So the Type-S emblem I was after for a very long time, and you know, if you go on Amazon or eBay and try to find it, there's all replicas and they stick on. And I'm like, all right, let me get this. I got the stick-on one. It was way too big, and it's not even meant for that. It's meant for like the back or something. And I'm like, I can't do this to this car. Took it off, and then I found out what it exactly was. Now that Type-S emblem, from what I know, it came on the JDM version of the vehicle, and I think it was an OEM accessory in the States. So long story short, I originally had messaged someone again on Facebook Marketplace, and I saw the Type-S emblem on the full front clip, and I said, I really want it, I'll give you $300 for it. And they're like, no, we want to sell it as is. All right. So again, long story short, I tried again a couple months later, and they still had it available. And I said, hey, this is Brian from Paint Society, and they actually, in AHC Garage, and they actually had followed us. So that helped gain a little bit more legitimacy. So again, $300, and I was scared because anything off Facebook Marketplace, you kind of just buy. And if they're going to ship it, you know, it's tough, and they ship it right to the door. And the cool thing about this one is it's got a backing plate that screws on, and you have to line it up perfect with the OEM directions. Love it.
I remember years ago, Brian, when I started at Acura in 2003, we used to sell the a-spec kit as a package. It comes with the body kit, the wing, also suspension that lowered down, I think almost like a quarter inch.
HFP?
No, at that time just a-spec.
A-spec they called it.
It is an a-spec kit. It was available for RS6, available for TL at that time, and also RLs.
Wow.
So speaking for the RS6, it comes with the entire body kit, with the high wing spoiler, suspension, full suspension. But it's only lowered down, I think it's like a quarter of an inch. And also come with the interior pieces, as you mentioned.
And interior pieces, everything. Those interior pieces are so hard to find. And I ended up having to buy 2 kits
to make one.
And I mean, it was very creative of the seller to do that, because I got stuck because I had to buy 2 to make one. And I decided not to paint them because I would try to match the color, and it's so difficult to match that color, that I just put it on there. And there might be a small blemish here and there, but it's usually hidden in the areas where you don't see where the wear and tear areas are by the seat belt down below. And it looks great. So I was really happy about that. And I got that all nice and put on, and it looks great. And I love those factory accessories.
And really, to finalize it, I mean, one last detail was the seat belt, right? The factory seat belt, they're all worn out. They were not available that you can just order brand new ones.
No, I went over.
What did you do?
So I contacted Seatbelt Planet, and I had all the intention of just to buy them. And they said, all right, we can do a little slight sponsorship. So they were able to help us out, and we got all the seat belts completely re-webbed. The 2 front, the back were fine because they never get used. Completely re-webbed, and the process that they do is just second to none. It's like a factory process. And you look at these seatbelts, you would think they came from the factory once they're all done. And now when my seatbelt, when I take it off, it goes right back, and it's nice and clean too.
We got a few we have a few videos coming out, different projects. I'm thinking about doing the same thing.
You have to. You definitely have to, and it is very cost efficient too.
Guys, so with that being said, wow, that was the end. And Brian, please.
Oh, the grand total. $54,155.59 to build a 2006 RSX Type-S full restoration and bring it to 2026 and make it look brand new.
Well, guys, remember this. With this $54,000, doesn't include any labor.
No, not at all, huh?
So if you factor that in, it depends where you're at and how much they charge. You could be easily another 10, 20 on top. And I'm being conservative.
And a lot of people ask me, oh, I want to buy your car. I'm like, it's not for sale because you're not going to pay what I paid because it's not a vivid blue. It was white. And to get it to this point, it would make no sense for you. Unless you're going to throw out $60,000, then maybe. But who wants to pay 60 grand? I don't know. I don't know. It's not original. So I mean, it's mine though, and this car means so much to me because of all my years I've learned in paint. This is a combination of everything I learned into one project, and this is a showcase, and that's why I love this car so much.
That there were so many nights we're like, dude, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? And there were a few moments that we were like, man, this is not good enough. We got to go back and redo certain things. And, and it happens, and we never filmed it.
Yeah.
And
I've gone back and repainted the tailgate. I repainted the fender. I repainted a couple times because I'm looking at something. I'm like, I can't live with this. Looking at this, knowing I can fix it.
yeah,
You know.
and to some of you guys might be like, hey, man, that's a lot of money, this and that. Hey, like Brian said, he built for himself, and he's going to be able to preserve his car for the next 10, 15, 20 years.
I think the longer that it sits and looks like this, the cooler it's going to be, because now it's now 20 years old, Mike. And 20 years from now, I mean, it's going to be even cooler. It's going to be a relic at that point, you know, and it's going to keep looking this nice as well.
Well, $54,000, and we're going to wrap up today's video. Now, we do have a few other projects going on, one including the same car.
I don't know. Something very similar. Something similar. They're just going to have to wait to find out because we have something cool coming up, you know.
So with that being said, make sure you subscribe. Hey, man, give us a like. Hey, drop a comment below. Tell us what you think about this project. I think it's pretty damn cool.
Am I crazy? Let me know down in the comments. Or if you think it's a cool build, let me know as well.
See you guys again next week.